Wait, suspect Sushi got arrested? Proud Boys member Jeffrey Finley was arrested last month for going inside the Capitol building during the insurrection. Ooh, oh no. This guy said he was gonna pay for me to move to Sweden. Am I not gonna get that money now if he's in jail? Calls himself Suspect Sushi online. Jeff's actions on January 6th deserve more attention. Jeff was helping organize and lead the insurrection. Standing next to a flower pot before entering. Wait, Proud Boys leader Joe Biggs. Biggs, I've never talked, there's no way I've talked to this guy before, right? Why do I feel like I've talked to a Biggs or something before? I feel like I've talked to somebody with the last name Biggs. Gun debate? You have? Wait. Did I? Debate Destiny.
What's up, guys? Welcome.
They said that
Rambo Biggs. Is this the same guy?
time.
It doesn't in the United States. I'm looking at all homicides. I can't listen to myself. Oh, God. Check the link. It has his picture. Wait, this guy's the current person. It's about Joe Biggs versus Destiny. Oh.
Like, I don't want to hear this shit going on at my school. Like, it's insane. I don't know how only Americans can think this is reasonable. Look at the numbers. Every single year, more people are killed in the United States than across the entire continent of Europe.
Jesus. Well. And Baked Alaska's here, too. Do you think that me calling Suspect Sushi and Uncle Tom, do you think spurred on all of this shit? Do you think I, in some way, was the beginning of his downfall? I'm just kidding. Damn, I can't believe he got arrested. Oh, no. The domino meme? When? I don't know. We got into fights on panels a long time ago. And now apparently he got arrested for Capitol riots. For being one of the insurrectionist leaders.
I just don't understand why anybody who's a patriotic, like nation-loving American would want to have statues commemorating people that literally tried to split your nation in half. It's like one of the most it's literally one of the most divisive things you can do.
I come out of
Here's why. Real quick.
Okay.
So she keeps saying, I don't know why you keep bringing up like, oh, well, both sides benefited from slavery. Like slavery was obviously like more advantageous to the South than the North. Like the entire South, like.
Finish. Let him finish. Suspect.
It doesn't matter. Wait. I'm just saying that, like, to keep pretending that the South and the North had the same reliance on slavery when the South's like entire agricultural system was fueled by slaves, and manufacturing and other forms of goods and services were able in the North is hugely disingenuous. Like to pretend that both sides relied on this the same amount is just not true.
So you're telling me that the raw goods that was absolutely needed from the South to the North for their for them to like have any type of exports when it came to like raw goods of tobacco and cotton and things of that nature, you're telling me that they didn't benefit even though they made more profit than what they got sold to them from the South? Like, are you kidding me? All I'm saying is this: don't make a morality claim about the Civil War when both sides obviously benefit, in my opinion, because of the fact that the New York City, whose largest exports were cotton and tobacco, primarily picked by slaves, were the hugest benefits and the largest benefactors of the federal government's tax revenue. What I'm telling you right here is stop being like, oh, it's about good versus evil. Oh, it was about slavery, when there was considerably more nuance to the issue at hand.
No one is saying that it's about. Wait, hold on. Just respond to me. No one is saying that it's. Or I'm not trying to make any claims about good or evil. I'm just saying that oftentimes we try to make like really bullshit claims behind the pretend that we're being nuanced. Like there is no nuance here. To try to say that like, well, both sides benefited from slavery. Yeah, of course. Anything down a supply chain is going to depend on things that are above on the higher part of the supply chain. But that higher part of the supply chain literally wouldn't exist. Like the entire economy of the South almost wouldn't exist without slaves. Like, did the North benefit from having supply chains that were located in the South? Yeah, sure, but they would have survived regardless. Like, I mean, like, sure, they might have incentivized it, but they were also fighting against it. So it was pretty clear that the North was more willing to give up slavery than the South was. Nobody disputes this. Like, and the idea that the North was just as reliant on slaves as the South, when the South was, feeling things to the North, is just a ridiculous proposition. It's just
so when they protect the institution of slavery with the Corwin Amendment, and I understand when it was passed in 1861, like states were already seceding, but that's all after consistent trampling of the sovereign states' rights. It's actually, huh? No, it's actually about multiple things. It was actually about multiple things. It was not
part of which was slavery. Big deal, but go ahead.
Which right?
If you're in the South and you want to fly a flag to honor your country, like we have one. It has 13 stripes. It's got 50 stars. It's the American flag. The Confederate flag is not an American flag. This was a separate country that broke off. It was not the United States. To try to say that these people were Americans, I mean, they were in the same way that, in the early Revolution, the Americans were the British. They used to be, but that's not what you call them after they seceded.
But they became Americans when we accepted them back. You guys are acting like we should have never accepted the South back. Do you think that we should have accepted accepted the South.
Well,
Pact?
let's let
Yeah, we
Destiny finish his
accepted the
point
South
first.
Pact, but we didn't bring them back in as their own Confederate States of America. We brought them back in as part of the United States of America. The same way that we don't, or I imagine if you were German, you wouldn't be flying Nazi flags around. It's not like you killed every single person that was a Nazi when you brought them back in. Much the same, we're not going to kill every single person that was part of the Confederacy when you brought them back in. It's not a moral issue like all these people were evil. I'm not saying that, but it's really weird that you would fetishize or defend a group of people that broke off from our country to try to rebel against it. They broke
Nobody's
off, they lost the
fetishizing
war.
them.
They came back. Yeah, but then why are you defending them, saying like these are American? The Confederate, nothing about the Confederate flag is American. We have an American flag. Why would you defend one from another country that tried to exist as a separatist nation from our own?
Well, we're not talking about the Confederate flag, but again, I'm not the one that says the Confederate flag stands for different. The rebel flag stands for different things to different people. I don't know because I'm not from the South. I don't have a rebel flag. But I know lots of people who say that what it means to them is they have a family history of that, and that they recognize that it has bad parts of it history. They reject the bad part, but still recognize it as their family. And they had good people in their family with some good redeeming qualities. It's not this black and white issue where it only stands for one thing, and whoever can hate it the most is the most virtuous.
Would you have defended flying British flags in the early days of the United States if there were large groups of people that were still flying British flags?
There were.
I'm not asking if there were. I'm asking if you would defend it. Would you have been a loyalist?
Okay.
It feels like you literally would have been. It feels like you like. I'm curious. Would you defend that?
Yeah, because it's called freedom of speech.
I'm not asking if you have the freedom of speech to do it. I'm saying, would you say like, this is like you're honoring your heritage as British people, or do you think it'd be more important to recognize that you've ascended from being a British person and now you're an American person, right? You're no longer celebrating your British heritage because you're an American now. You can celebrate that, but you don't fly public flags honoring the British government, honoring the crown, the same way that you wouldn't fly a Confederate flag honoring a nation that is dissolved.
If you take the number of slaveholders in relation to the overall population of free white men in the South, who once you could own land and things, it was 1.4%. So I mean, of course it's Snopes, but I mean, I like to think that they don't like right wingers in any capacity. So I think that's good enough right there. So 1.4% overall of the entire South owned slaves in any capacity.
I'm so curious. One final question I have. Lecture fan, would you support like Mexican immigrants that come here flying Mexican flags in public areas?
I don't have any problem with anybody flying any flag. It's called freedom of speech.
Okay, so if you went down to your public courthouse and there were flags of Mexico flying in that courthouse, you'd be totally okay with that. If you are, that's cool. I appreciate
What about
what about an ISIS flag? That's not the debate.
That absolutely is the debate.
You know, secession was actually absolutely codified in the Constitution and allowed to the point where they're not traitors. You may call them traitors, but the right to secession was 100% legal, and on a states' rights issue, justified if they believe that they had standing reason. Because, like, remember, they go to like their local, like, not parliament, but they'll go to their like local like Congress and they vote on whether they should secede. It doesn't make them a traitor for doing so. Like, you might say morally they're wrong, but like calling them a traitor is a misnomer at its very best, and that's being charitable.
The Supreme Court just ruled against us. This is just wrong. Like, you're just wrong. I don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
the Constitution.
One of the most American things.
On top of the ruling I cited, where the Supreme Court said no, our Constitution has a supremacy clause that says federal law is supreme over state law, and it's not even unclear. It is quite clear.
Do you understand do you understand that when they identify themselves as the sovereign states, then they only put a certain amount of powers within the federal government? They are also encouraged when they believe something to be tyrannical, regardless of what the issue is, they can go up against that force. That's the whole reason as to why America was created. So the secession is American in nature.
Slavery was not just some little niche thing. It was ingrained not just into the economy of the South, but unlike the North, into the society, into the culture, into the everyday experience of the South.
So I'm just going to talk about secession, right? So the fact that it was ratified in our Constitution, but I'm going to get more into it, right? So I'm just going to say this is a excerpt from, what's his first name? Something Kaiser, I forget his name, but basically he says there has to be a specific constitutional prohibition of secession for it to be illegal. Conversely, there did not have to be a specific constitutional affirmation of the right for secession for it to be legal. Why? Because of the 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which states the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. This amendment states nothing new, but is merely a restatement as the preamble to the Bill of Rights explains. It is a restatement of the fact that the federal government can govern only as to express, and that is made clear also in the preamble, powers granted or delegated to it by the Constitution. Articles 1 through 3 and states are prohibited from doing certain things only if it states so expressly therein. The power to prevent secession is not granted to the federal government, and the right to secede is not prohibited to the states under our Constitution. So when they seceded, they were not. They were seceded against what they view to be a tyrannical government or someone who is infringing on their rights, regardless of whether it's due to like the taxation, regardless if it's due to slavery, regardless of they farted too hard and now they're angry at the North. It doesn't matter. Their rights to secede, if they vote on it, is constitutionally allowed, and it does not make them traitors in the eyes of the U.S. government. Plain and simple.
I don't really care much about the statue thing. I think if communities want to take them down, they can. I think that's totally fine. I think it's really weird that people like fetishize or obsess over having like Confederate statues up, considering that they argue all the time that like the Confederacy was Democrats and it was all Democrats that were the slave owners and all Democrats that were the breaking away in the South. But then it seems like Republicans are the ones that are the most eager to defend those statues. It seems a little bit strange. I don't know why they do that. I don't know where this weird... I feel like I'm debating all writers again, where I'm hearing all this weird talk about how like, oh, well, actually nobody owned slaves. And actually the Civil War wasn't actually about slavery at all. And actually it's totally legal to secede secede from the Union. I don't know, like I don't know where we're reading this from. I didn't catch the last source, but I mean, in Texas v. White, like that Supreme Court case over the Confederate bonds, like the Supreme Court says that you're not allowed to unilaterally secede from the Union. You can't do it. You're not allowed. That's the Supreme Court stance on it. I don't know what legal blog or whatever or a random person thinks that you can interpret some document. I mean, I've heard a lot of sovereign citizens running around screaming at cops that they're like allowed to travel for free and not be touched by anybody. I don't know if this is like the same type of tier of argument, but yeah, you're not allowed to secede from the United States. The Supreme Court and therefore the United States Constitution doesn't recognize that as a right that a state has. And yeah, but back to the original point, I don't really care much about statues, but if people want to get rid of them, then Godspeed.
Jeez. Just want to let you know, it seems WellSet's getting way extreme. We have embeds and Antifa groups, and they're willing to come home after Saturday, and same with Proud Boys. Oh, to not come home. My guys are chilling, easily held back by, it's going to be a shit show, my guy, regardless of whom. To you is the aggressor in the conflict. It seems shit and everything's fast. By the way, no one is bringing guns. People, I don't know, we feel connected. Oh, hold on. Wait, does anybody realize something about this? Anybody see anything in this? Makes you wonder? Dylan deleted all of his replies to him. I wonder why. Kind of makes you think. Because you can see that Suspect Sushi is responding to some of the things Dylan is saying. I wonder why Dylan deleted his messages. Redact.dev. True. Remind me again who's Suspect Sushi. A long time ago, there was a black guy that was like kind of representing conservative viewpoints on a panel, and I stepped on and I asked him if it was strange. Oh, he was the black guy that was defending the idea that the Civil War wasn't about slavery. It was about something else. That guy. Yes, that guy. And then when I was like, don't you think it's kind of weird that you're like the black guy on here arguing in favor of the fact that the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery? And he's like, oh, you're just going to call me an Uncle Tom? And I think I was like, well, I wasn't going to call you an Uncle Tom, but if you want me to, okay. I think he was that guy. And then he spent the next like 30 minutes getting really ass-mad over that.
You said, don't you think it's funny that you're a token black conservative defending the Confederacy or something like that?
Yeah. Do you think
and then I said, okay, I get what you're saying. You're making an Uncle Tom joke, and that's cute. And then you went,
are you capable?
And then I went back to saying I'd pay for your ticket to
sure.
Sweden.
Okay, so slow down. I know you're really obsessed with like wheeling out Uncle Tom. Okay. So for the initial thing I said, is that not an observation I'm allowed to make?
What does that have to do with what I'm talking about?
I mean, it depends
like,
on what the conversation goes.
We both knew what you were saying.
Why are you answering my question with a question?
We both know what you were saying.
You don't have to guess what I'm saying. I literally explicitly said it.
Exactly what I'm saying is I know what you were intending, and that's when I brought it to the forefront. Let's boil it down to plain English.
What I intended.
And you're making an Uncle Tom joke, and that's cute, and you fucking agreed with it because I called you out, and you said
yeah,
and you don't give a fuck.
Sure, and I'll agree again. So you're not trying to boil it down into simple English. You're trying to go for like a buzzword that you can use to attack me. You're not dealing at all with the original.
No.
Okay, so then can I ask my question again? Can you tell me? Am I allowed to make that observation that you're a black guy defending the Confederacy, saying the Civil War wasn't about slavery, or am I not allowed to?
Never
make
said that. I said it wasn't entirely about slavery.
Sure, that it wasn't the main reason why the Civil War happened. Am I allowed to make that observation, or am I not allowed to make that observation?
That's fine.
Okay, well then what's your problem? I made an observation, okay? And I made that same observation, by the way, here. He didn't answer it here. He didn't answer it there. Instead, he immediately pivoted to try to get like an own on the left by saying, oh, well, you're the real racist. You're calling me Uncle Tom, blah, 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 blah. I didn't actually call him an Uncle Tom originally. I just thought it was interesting. He was being like the token black conservative that comes to say, oh, the Confederacy wasn't about slavery.
Play it on stream.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah. You want to play the clip on stream?
Okay.
But
Okay.
also, wait, just so I can respond. It wasn't that productive. Of course not. It was like a little like zinger or whatever at the end of a podcast. We were already done. We were
Was it
leaving,
a
and I
singer
went,
though? Was
well,
it?
clearly it was. If you're so bothered by
It-
it, bringing
it-
up like a week
no,
later,
no,
it feels like it was
it-
quite the zinger.
it was just-
There are certain token figures that are used to prop up like certain movements. Like sometimes you get people like Blair White who are like token trans people that conservatives can point to. You have people like Candace Owens who are like token black people that conservatives can point to. You got people like Milo Yiannopoulos that are token gay people. Basically, these are people that espouse. Yeah, these are people that espouse like what most people would consider to be hateful or anti-X rhetoric. And they belong to such a minority group that it makes their argument seem more legitimate, and it's a difficult thing to deal with. Yeah, I make that observation. I don't think there's anything.
Yes,
anything
we're
problematic about that.
intellectually malleable people being used from the GOP.
One person could say they're sorry. Other person could say, "Cool, we can move past it." Right? Just get it done, right? And then we
no need for apologies on Destiny's part. It's perfectly fine. Like I said, I never wanted an apology, but I did try to reach out to him to have a one-on-one discussion, like to really get down to the nitty-gritty to make sure I wasn't misappropriating what he said. But like I said, he doubled down on what he said. So, fuck it.
Destiny.
I'm sorry that you're such a bitch ass trying to fucking corner me into saying some racist shit.
Bro, dude,
the only
listen,
reason I'm here
you
right
know
now,
full damn well
the
you
only
fucking
reason-
soylent drinking
the
cup
only
boy.
reason-
You fucking
the
curly-headed
only
fuck.
reason
You
I'm
can
here-
never see me.
the only
IRL, you
reason-
fucking piece of shit.
IRL
You know
has to do-
damn
oh my
well
God.
you're only
Wait, are
protected
you-
by the fucking internet.
Hey,
You
are
get
you
your
serious?
shit slapped,
You're
bro.
so mad. But anyway, the only reason I'm here is because you've been on like multiple shows throwing around this Uncle Tom, like because you're so fucking thirsty for me to come on. I'm glad I did. I hope that I made your evening fine.
Yeah,
I'm sure
bury
you're
it.
like hyping up your Discord and everything, and you guys are all
Nope,
like, oh, Destiny
literally
came
not.
on, and he
Literally
said he was
not.
gonna be
There's no
racist, and I fucking
advertisements
got
going,
him,
'cause you
guy.
don't
I got that
operate my
lucky
headspace, dude.
hypocrite. Are you sure? Fuck, who just joined?
Yo,
Oh, hello. It's Dylan, the great
Did you-
deceiver.
did you see the suspect sushi? I can post the full logs. Okay.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. I just noticed it. It stuck out at me. Maybe one
You
of you
stuck
were,
out of you.
well, you were planning some insurrection riots there as well, you know?
Look, hey, I was there. I am confirmed. Me and Suspect are the only two on Twitch who have confirmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
True. I was there planning it. I was a Biden hoodie plant. It is wild though. The whole Suspect Sushi being there thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good question actually. I had a moral dilemma before I posted all this.
Yeah, dilemma me up, baby.
So the dilemma was for me like, okay, so he gave me these messages in trust, right?
Who?
Suspect. He gave me this picture in trust.
Mhm.
But then again, he also knows that I really, really, really care about DC. This is like my community, right?
Okay.
So it's like him, like, and he like kind of like fond, like, oh my goodness, somebody attacked you at the DC. That's terrible. But then he participated in all of this. Now we're under arrest for it. All this stuff. Is it my responsibility to keep those messages private? I know I already posted them, but is it my responsibility to do that?
I mean, it's up to you, I guess. I can't solve that for you.
Wait, Destiny, you're supposed to tell me if I'm right here. You're supposed to tell me I'm right.
What kind of? It's up to you. What kind of code do you want to craft for your life? What do you think is the most appropriate thing to do?
Well, I guess like you don't leak something until it's like egregious to not leak it. Like if obviously if somebody's like a serial murderer,
Mm-hmm.
right? You go out and you leak that to stop all the serial murders, even if they asked you to like promise, right?
Mhm.
And obviously if he participated in like, I don't know what you call it, but like the insurrection, right? And he was like organized it. He's next to like literally next to Joe Biggs, right?
Mhm.
He's with Enrique Tarrio. I got pictures of him with him, private photos with him and Enrique Tarrio, who's on firearms charges in DC. And he's there like just proudly organizing it in the Capitol building. Like, I mean, is it my responsibility not to leak it? Like he gave it to me knowing that I care about the area, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would care about leaking them. I have no idea what to say. So, I wouldn't give a
Okay.
fuck. Like, I would tell people in the future, if you get convicted of federal crimes and you say shit to me in DMs, I'm probably going to make fun of you and laugh at people for it. Like, that's
Wait, I just remember you having a very anti-leaky stance.
who said, well, I mean, it depends on what we're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have an anti-leaky stance, sure, but like if somebody tries to fuck with me, I'll leak everything because I'm gonna defend myself and before I give a fuck about anybody else's privacy, right? And then if anybody starts leaking shit at me, I'll leak as well, right?
But I mean, if somebody's like doing like super illegal shit or whatever, and you've got stuff that could be relevant, I don't know what the point is of linking your DMs with Sushi. It doesn't seem like you revealed anything, so I don't know.
I don't think I revealed anything. It just, I guess the major thing I guess I didn't reveal anything major. Just basically like, hey, he was like close with like Enrique Tarrio, which there was no evidence of him being like close with Enrique Tarrio, or at least that he like knew Enrique Tarrio to some extent, and that he knew that it was getting more and more violent, yet continued to be within the organization.
Okay.
I guess that'd be it.
All right.
Do you think there's any platforming implications? Because that's the discussion now.
Platforming? What do you mean?
Like that I did a bad by platforming him.
How the fuck could you have known at the time? I mean,
true.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.
Fuck off, Chad. I'm not Destiny Jr.
Damn, got him.